I go home and I bawl.
Mm.
I bawl, like bawl. And it's not because I'm a sore loser, because I'm not a sore loser. But it's a grieving process that I think as athletes and as humans is necessary for us to get it out. Because you have to understand as an athlete with a champion mindset, I don't train to lose. We never train to lose, right? I don't go in an exam thinking I'm going to fail. Nobody does that. And I believe as a successful athlete, you also have to grieve the process
Yes. Yeah.
because you have to know, go home and you have to sit with yourself and you have to let that out because I don't want to carry it with me.
Yes.
Double shoulder. Tell you you can. You
I
are
know.
undeniable.
What's your superpower?
You are undefeatable.
I got goosebumps.
You are the less than 1%. Even when it doubts you can't.
Your path is your path. Stay committed, stay focused, be disagreeable, optimistic, and relentless.
You are the less than 1%.
All right. Welcome to Less Than 1%. You can tell things are a little bit different. The studio looks a little bit different. But don't tell anybody. I'm in Jamaica. Okay. So don't tell everybody at work. I'm actually still in Dallas working. This is a virtual Jamaica scene. But no, seriously, I'm in Jamaica. I'm here with the wonderful, amazing champion, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Hi, Imamu.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
This is a long time coming.
A long time,
long
but
time coming.
nothing happens before it's time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we actually got to do it in Jamaica.
Yes,
As
yes,
opposed to
yes,
Dallas, where we're at right now.
yes,
Dallas.
yes, yeah, yeah. But I mean, because I'm a little bit of a stalker, and so I,
That pays off sometimes.
no, but seriously, you were so gracious. Thank you for
Thank
being on.
you.
And do you know the show is about a lot of people who are underestimated, a lot of people who, people think that they can't do things. And so I think with all you have accomplished, it's amazing, but it wasn't always like that. I mean,
No.
you really worked hard to get to where you are.
Very hard
Yeah.
to get to this point.
Yeah.
I've had to overcome environmental, issues as well as personal and emotional issues to kind of get to this point. I grew up in Waterhouse and I can say I love my community with all my heart. But at the same time, it wasn't easy to love when you were in it
Mm.
because the reality is you're young, all you can see is poverty around you. So you're almost like, is this going to be my reality? Is this going to be what it is going forward? And you can't see anything else outside of that. And while I had a close family, because I lived in what was called a tenement yard,
Mm.
so where aunt, uncles, cousin, all of us was there, and it was lovely. I enjoyed every moment of being there. But then it was hard when you're now by yourself and you're sitting by yourself and you're thinking. I was like, all right, my bathroom is outside. I have to wait until somebody else finish shower before we have to line up because everybody wants to go and shower at the same time. So it was hard to see beyond that. So for me, being able to now see myself in this position, I can tell you that it took a lot of hard work, took a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of self belief, and also trusting that God's words are true. Because it's easy to say you have faith, but a lot of persons, when they're faced with circumstances, that faith is thrown out the window. So for me, you being here is a moment that says, I never gave up. And I'm glad that I had people in my corner that believed, even when I didn't at the time. And they were sowing good seeds in my life. And, you're holding on to it and you're like, all right, then. Yeah, man, you believe. Me not believe yet, but we'll get there. So I'm grateful to be in this position.
So it's funny you said people believe in you before you believe in yourself.
Correct.
I told you yesterday you liked one of my daughter's posts before
Yes.
we even just watching you in awe. And I told you she's 5'3" and 2% body fat. And I think it was she posted something, you liked it just randomly.
I
And
think I probably watched it.
oh my gosh, I can't to this day. She said, tell her. She said, tell when you're there, tell her that she liked my post. I said, she liked your post. So I mean, I think the idea that people support us even before
Yeah.
we know who we're going to be is so amazing. And you did that last night.
Yeah. So the Pocket Rocket Foundation was born in 2013, and it came because of individuals again who saw more in me and created space and access
Mhm.
and guidance to help me to get to this point. So I never take the help and the journey for granted because I knew from an early stage what went into it.
Mhm.
So having the Pocket Rocket Foundation is to create lasting change. It's not just for athletes who want to run fast, but it's for athletes who want to create impact, who wants community, who wants to develop, just holistically. Because I think for a lot of us, we think that it's just about the winning and the medals and the accolades. But what about life after that? How are
Mhm.
we inspiring our generation? And it's not just about the inspiration, it's about, the guidance and the people who pour into you. And I have used the journey that I've been able to be on to inspire them to say, hey, doesn't matter how you start. Sometimes you get a rocky start and you have to pick yourself up and you have to go again.
Mhm.
And at every juncture of my life, I've been able to show them that, listen, whatever success that I have, that success also belongs to you. So having the Pocket Rocket Foundation has given me the platform to really invest and pour into these student athletes because I didn't have a lot of that growing up. So it's something that I never take for granted,
Yeah.
right? So I come in, I sit down, and I'm very intentional about what I do with the foundation. So it's not something that I'm doing just to pass time, and
Mhm.
it's definitely not something that I'm doing to evade tax. Right? This is something that I'm passionate about, something that I love, something
Yeah.
that I put my own money into. So it's not something
Yeah.
that I'm just looking at and say, oh, it looks good and it adds to, just your resume and all of that. No, it's something that I'm invested in. So the student athlete summit that we just had, this was our second staging for the summit. And it just brings student athletes from all across Jamaica in a
Mhm.
room that plays different sport, because if it's one thing that is unique to our sport is that if you don't have the discipline
Mhm.
and if you don't have the work hard and the ethic and all of that to get it done, it's not gonna get done. So
Yeah.
they're already on common ground. So we bring them together and we inspire them and we give them real skills and resources that they can tap into. We're in a different stage or a different I think globally we're at a different stage when it comes to sports, where there's so many things out there. And I think athletes need the information to be able to choose properly.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of us, we didn't choose properly. We chose because we were trying to survive.
Right.
So we felt we had no other choice. So when I did track and field, it was my mom who literally told me every day track and field was going to be my way out,
Mhm.
period. That was it. That was drilled in my head every day. I come home from training and I didn't go to track training. She would make me stand up out the door because she's like, you're not coming in here because I didn't go to track training. Right? So she understood from early that track was going to give me a scholarship to go overseas. Mind you, I knew nothing about overseas at that time. And I'm gonna go over, go to school in the States and hopefully take my family out of poverty. So that is what she saw, and that was her interpretation. So track and field or sport in general will give you a platform and it will open doors and you will have to choose what you do with that. So that is why the Pocket Rocket Foundation exists, to create lasting change, to create community-based initiatives that brings community together, to invest in the early childhood, institution, because all of those things are things that I have gone through and I've seen the impact of, what investing in those things will do.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you didn't just come and, just for people who weren't there,
Yeah.
you didn't just come and fly in, fly out. You didn't come and just gave the kids a bunch. You were
No.
there, before I knew it. You came and said hi to me, which was great. I was like, oh, Shelly, I can take a picture. And before I knew it, you had walked to every single table. You
Yeah.
talked to every student. And the thing um, that I didn't tell you yesterday that was super impressive about what you did is when we talked and you pointed out a student, and I looked at a student on the stage speaking. I said, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And you knew everything about them. You knew their journey.
Yeah.
You knew their sport. I mean, I'm surprised you might even know their grades. So, I mean, that is just a testament to you. You don't live in Dallas. You don't live in New York. You don't
No,
live in Miami. You don't live in LA. You live in the place that raised you, that
correct.
made you
Born
who
and
you are.
bred. Born
And
and
that's
bred.
amazing.
That is important. I like to say that for me, I am homegrown. Everything
Yeah.
about me, homegrown. Went to school in Jamaica, college in Jamaica. All the coaches that have coached me are Jamaicans. Everything about me says Jamaica because Jamaica is the country that raised me. The
Yeah.
people raised me, right?
Oh,
So I love being able to give back the way I do, and I love being able to know who I'm giving back to
you're right.
because I want to know your story. I want to know your uniqueness. I want to know what it is that makes you special. Because many persons will come. I just had funny, we had a check-in. So every year, within the year, we do a check-in with our students, and not just the students who are current, but the students who have passed through the foundation. So all of them would come online and we'll all have a conversation. So where are you now? What you're
Mm,
doing? Just how is school? What's been going on? And they'll be giving us their feedback. Oh, I did this in a sport. I did this in school. I got this honor roll or whatever it is. Oh, I just graduated from. Young lady graduated. I think she graduated from a school in, I think it is St. John's
oh, yeah.
University.
St. John's. Yeah.
So a lot of them, there are so many stories that you're listening to. And for me, that is my fuel.
Yeah.
Knowing that I have given them the opportunity to do more things, to do better things,
Yeah.
right? Because whatever it is that I want for myself, I want for them.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to their story. And every time they come on and they said, oh, I want to thank the Pocket Rocket Foundation for giving me the scholarship, I'm going to come in and I said, all right, I know you're great for the scholarship. I want to know, what are you
What
doing?
are you
What's
doing?
going on? What you're
Yeah.
up to? How is life? And the summit actually was born out of a session that we had with the kids, like asking them, what it is can we do? What more can we do for you? And they would give us their ideas. They would check in and say, all right, then we would write it down and would table it in our
Mm,
in our meetings and would discuss it and say, all right, what can we bring that would be different? Every single project that we bring forth from the Pocket Rocket Foundation is because we have consulted with our student athletes. Mind you, I won't tell you my age, but I'm almost, big. I'm almost big.
yeah.
I don't know what is happening in high school now. I
Yeah.
don't know what their challenges are now in high school. How are they navigating the space now? When I was navigating the space, I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have a whole heap of people in my
Yeah.
ears, chat, chat, chat. It's way different. These kids are navigating a space that's so different. And I didn't know it. First of all, nobody knew I was training the only time I was training when I run at the champs.
Right. Right.
Now you can know what everybody have a peak inside your life and everybody have a comment, whether it's a critic, whatever it is, somebody is adding conversation to your life. And you want to know what they're internalizing, what they take from all of that. So it's a different space to navigate. So we just want to meet them where they are, provide access, give them resources to see how they go through their journey, provide them with the, how to win. Because make no mistake, I want them to win.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
just, I'm competitive. I want to win. That's what I want to do. And winning looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
We all win at different moments, right? And at different things. So that's the joy for me.
So you had a great impact on my daughter, right? Who's is at Boston College playing basketball. And you've had a great impact on lots of students. I met all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just amazing. But has there been one? I mean, obviously all of them impact you, but has there been one story that has really impacted you, where you say, "Wow"?
I mean, there's a lot of stories that comes out of the Pocket Rocket Foundation. There's students right now, like during Hurricane Melissa, I think, is when I really was
Um,
able to see what some of our student athletes are faced with. So, like, you'll go and there's a young man that goes to Woolmer's Boys School. I went to his home after the hurricane, and his mom was showing me what's the home situation and what was happening.
mm,
And you're like, okay. And you don't know, they don't tell you these things. And I'm like, why? When we have our check-ins or when we call or when you're sending message, what they are content with what they have. They're fine. They're excelling regardless. I was like, yeah, but we still want to know. So there's one young lady, I would have to say, Tashika Young. So Tashika, what the young lady that did our voter thanks
Yes.
yesterday. So she joined us from Manning's High School, which is in Westmoreland. So her home, she lost her home, and the school was devastated because of Hurricane Melissa. And you would think that, especially because she's so young, because I think she's just in second or third form, right? You would think because she's so young, she would buckle under the stress and everything that came with Hurricane Melissa, the relocation, all of it. But she hasn't. She has the tenacity that I wish I had
Mm.
when, I wish I had that when I was her age. And I went to she was staying with her aunt. I think this was in Redgate district, which is close to St. Elizabeth. And we went to visit her in our community and stuff like that because at that time we were doing care packages and just assisting a lot of persons who were affected. And she wanted to go back to school, but her school wouldn't be up. Mrs. Montague, Colleen Montague, is a principal at the
Mm.
Woolman's High School for Girls. She was my principal when I was at school. She's also a board member on the Pocket Rocket Foundation. So we approached her to say, hey, can we do something where we have Tashika come to Kingston and enroll her in Woolman's for that time until she decides what she's going to do after? Spoke to the mom, the parent, mommy and daddy, and they're like, okay, they had an aunt that lived in Portmore. So they're going to say, okay, we're going to shift the funding and place it to Woolmer's until, and she was able to move and come
Wow.
to Kingston. She started Woolmer's. You would not have known that she didn't start at Woolmer's from first form
Yeah.
because she went in, she wasn't afraid, she was okay, she got her uniform, she sent us a picture, and she just went in as if she had been there all her life.
Yeah.
For me, that's the kind of adaptability I want students to have to say, yes, circumstances will come, obstacles will come, but we have to find a way to rise. We have to find a way to pivot and really find our strength in those moments. And I'm always inspired by her and just the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she
Yes.
just
She's
commands a
amazing.
space. She's absolutely amazing. So it is my privilege to be able just to do our little part because I'm not taking credit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Her parents, her school, I'm sure her community really nurtured her. And I think it's a privilege for us to be able to assist and get her to the point where the world will probably one day know her name and, all the success. So it's definitely one of those stories that I think a lot of our student athletes will eventually come to know and to learn and to understand that, challenge will come, but you have to determine how you go through those challenges.
Yeah, it's funny. So, I'm an emergency doctor, and you can think of like firefighters, emergency, all these different roles where there's a bad thing that happens, and I'm supposed to go towards the bad thing where
Yeah.
everybody else is running away. So you're in that camp. You went towards
Mm-hmm.
where people needed you most. It's like we have another connection, which is so. It seems like this was destined to happen. So my father went to Manning's.
Okay.
My mother went to Wolmer's.
Oh, I get quite a guess.
My aunt taught at Wolmer's.
I get quite a guess.
So it's very. I've been accused of having Wolmerian tendencies, and I.
You probably do. You just don't know.
So
We claim you.
yeah. So it's very interesting, and I write about that how really something that is intrinsic to Jamaicans is where you went to school. It
Yeah,
changes who you are. It's
changes you.
fundamentally
It does.
describes you. I mean, I'm in Toronto growing up, and I'm like, there's this big Manning's dance, and I'm like, guys, you graduate 40 years ago. What are you doing?
No, they're very serious. So
Yeah.
Jamaicans, when it comes to high school, like me not think. I think my school is the only school that exists. And if my son could go to the all-girls school, I will send him to the all-girls school. Right? So I went to the Woolmer's High School for Girls, Woolmer's Trust High School for Girls. And being at Woolmer's, I have to say, transformational. Like, Woolmer's changed my life.
Oh.
Like, I'm from Waterhouse, so you can imagine the culture shock. Because at Waterhouse, them say, Waterhouse, Jamaicans would use the term ghetto. So you go a shop, You buy half stick of butter when your mother's in a shop. You're not going, it's not supermarket.
Yeah.
I've never been to a supermarket till I was older, right? So I used to go to the corner shop, buy my 3 egg in the bag, a quarter bread, bigilla oil. I don't know if you know anything about that, but you get the oil in a little bag
Mhm.
and you come back. So I walked everywhere. My mother would ride on a bicycle and I had to walk 400 meters to the bus stop, catch the bus. I was taking a bus from I was 3 years old.
Mm.
I tell my son all the time, him get way. So him can't go tell nobody say him life did hard. I say, you can't tell nobody say you have hard life, right? But that's the life that I live. Now, can you imagine now me put on the blue and white uniform and go to Woolmer's where half of the student, if not 80% of the student, them only speak in standard English. Them mother drop them off at school, them father drop them off, them coming in different cars. You go in a class, people getting 90, 100, and you say, 100? You extra E? Like, you just extra, right? But it forces you now
Yeah.
to, have to elevate your game. You have to know, Jamaican say fake it. I think the world says fake it till you make it. All of me no want in the library, me in the library. What me I do in the library? I could have go talk to my friend them in the class and do something. You're in the library, you're studying, you're doing so different. Cause I go home, I live in a one room with my mom and my 2 brothers. My grandmother live in the other side, my aunt live on the other side, my aunt live on the other side. So it's just tight
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So when I go in my room in my mother's house, it's just one bed, a little couch, and our TV was on a barrel. I don't know if you know back in those
Mhm.
days when your grandmother used to go England, when
Mhm.
England used to give you a visa for free, and we didn't need any visa. My grandmother used to go to England because my grandmother lived and worked in England. So she would send barrels back. I don't know, Jamaicans would
Yep.
send the blue barrel or the brown barrel to
Mhm.
come back. A lot of us use those barrels as settee, tables, TV stand, all of it. So our TV was on like a barrel and everything was outside. But that's what I knew, right?
Yeah.
So now you're forced into an environment where you have to act right. I remember my first principal was Miss Pamela Harrison. I remember going to school, and I don't know if you know if you've been in the inner city. The first thing my mother going to do when I go to school in the morning is put the powder up in my neck. I don't know. Then put the powder because she said she wanted to keep you cool and
Yeah.
smelling fresh because I have to
Yes.
take the bus to school.
Yes.
And the bus far because I have to go take the bus. I have to walk to the bus stop, take the bus to the Crossroads Market, walk through the market to get on Morosco Road, and you weren't allowed to take taxi to go down because of safety. And then I was to walk all the way down or take a bus. And then I would come off and go on the bridge or go over the lower school. So it was a lot of walking. So my mother powder my neck now because she excited. Right? So I reached the school and I had my rag because she gave me a rag. And she said, when your face sweating, just wipe it off.
All right.
Walked through the school and I walked over the upper school. I was on lower school. Walked to the upper school and I had the powder in my neck and the rag in my hand. I remember Mrs. Harrison stopped me and she said to me, what am I doing with a washcloth in her school? And why do I have this powder on my neck? Where do I live? She's like, go to the bathroom and wipe it off. I had to go to the bathroom and I never put powder on my
My neck
neck
again.
again. When I had my rag, it was in my bag. She said to me, do not, because at this time I was carrying my bag to the side because I didn't have my first school bag was somebody actually gave me a bag because my mother didn't have any money to buy a new bag. So my first bag going to school was a secondhand bag from somebody. So I crossed the bag over my shoulder and she's like, take the bag off from her. She said, aren't you a lady? Please to act like a lady. Please to walk with your chest up. So can you imagine? You are used to one way of living.
Right.
And now you are thrown
Thrown
into
into another
another
one.
environment where you have to walk properly, act properly, speak properly, carry yourself in such a way. So when I say Woolmans was transformational,
Yeah.
transformational. They believe. So even when so mind you, I was getting in trouble running across the lawn when I shouldn't be running across the lawn over the boys' school because I had friends over there and I was kind of popular in school,
Mm.
right? Because I did track.
Yeah.
So I was always over there. Mr. Gardner used to have to tell me, please define your class, because I am the girl that's going to be sitting on top of the decks with the boys having big conversation, right? About who going to run next week or whatever. But it changed me. The environment forces me. It forced me to kind of elevate, right? So while, yes, it was still a struggle
Yeah.
because, you know, I'm leaving one environment, going into another. But when I came back to school and I had homework, I was either in Mrs. I was either in the Mrs. Allison's office in the library, and she was talking to me. Whether it's my nurse when I'm trying to miss class and tell the teacher that I'm having cramps, and I had to go and sleep in the sick bay. And then I tell her I have to ask my friends to come and bring me lunch, and then my friends bring the lunch because they want us also sit down in the sick bay and laugh and chat. And she would spend her time telling me I'm a leader. I can do so many things, so many life that they spoke into you, so many
Yeah.
assistants. And, you know, and my first one of the young ladies from Mrs. Jean Coke was the head of the Woolmer's Girls, Old Girl Association at the time. I went to Penn's for the first time because of my school. I was on a plane for the first time. And at that time, we had the waving gallery out by Norman Manley Airport. All of my family was out there.
Wow.
Remember, me not gonna with and them me gonna with, you know. I'm going to Penn Relays, and my family was on the Raven Gallery. They all woke up to carry me to the
That's
airport,
awesome. That's
right? Because
awesome.
they were excited. So when I say transformational,
Yeah.
transformational, they poured into me education, athletic. A lot of first came at Ulmas.
Man, I see you pouring into the students, but just to change gears a little bit, and you see, I'm not talking about track and field. I'm
No,
not talking about
not yet.
athletics. Well, I mean, I don't see you. I see every part of you.
Thank
I
you.
don't just see the athlete. I think the athlete was the ground that you broke into to create this platform.
Thank you.
But I suspect if that wasn't the platform, that there would be many, many other platforms that you.
yeah.
And I think that's what you're doing now. Now that the track is giving you the initial bump, you're expanding. One of the things I talk about all the time, I get in trouble for talking about sports. When I'm on stages, they say, all you talk about is sports. Basketball, track, Shelly. I mean, I have Jordan knows this. Where's Jordan? Jordan, you know this. I have 4 presentations about you that you don't know about. So just in case you hear. But the impact of sports on the rest of the world. It's the kind of thing that can make enemies sit down together. It's the kind of things that can make people cheer. It can really solve the world. And you're in a unique position. Tell me about how you're using your platform now to literally change the world.
Yeah, I mean, sport is really a platform, right? And it opens doors because the sport part will eventually go away. It will end. But it's
Mhm.
how you use that platform, how you use that impact and that celebrity that you have acquired because of the sport to
Mm.
open doors for others, to create space for others, to create, you know, avenues that others can understand that, listen, you don't have to do it the hard way. There's an easier way you can do it. Because for me, again, one of the things I think for me, I didn't advocate for myself early in my career. So I made a
Mhm.
lot of mistakes. Do I want the next generation of athletes to make the same mistakes? No, because I've figured out a way and I'm using the fact that, okay, I did it one way, you can do it another way. So it's your experiences that you use to kind of educate the next generation of athletes to say, hey, here's another way
Yeah.
that can take you to the same place, right? It's almost like a bus. We can take 3 different buses that arrive at the same place, right? It's just that some takes longer and some will get there quicker, but getting there quicker don't mean it's effective, right? So sports has given me the platform to create access, to create opportunities for other student athletes, for other women, for mothers, for entrepreneur. You know, all of it is sport has given me that I have used that to elevate just not just people, but my own self. Because for you to create the access and create the opportunities, you have to make sure that the self is good, right? Because you can't pour from an empty cup,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure that you have been, you know, you have really owned the skills to get to that part because I can't tell them if it for all right, I'll give you an example. When I was at school and they would bring people to come and talk to us, I was one of those persons who sat at the back not listening because me say, you live uptown, where you could have tell me
Right.
where me I gonna believe? Because I couldn't identify with you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, listen, I'm from Waterhouse. I barely see people make it out. You are coming here telling me, oh, you can make it. I'm not listening to you.
Well,
I
they were
want,
right. They were right.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were right, but it
Yeah.
took me a while to
To get
kind of
there.
get there,
Yeah.
right? So, had somebody from my community come and say, and I see her working and doing this and, all of that, I would be like, yeah, yeah, man, she make it out. Me can do it too.
Yeah.
So, which is why for me, it's important that I use my platform in a positive way, use my platform in a way that impacts communities, impacts young girls to understand that success is not just mine. Girl, it's for you too. So not because you feel like your bathroom is outside, no means say it can't be inside next 5 years, next 10 years. Right?
Yeah.
The girl who is deciding, oh, I want to be an Olympic champion from I was 21, 20, 19, it's possible. Right? The young lady who decides, hey, I want to be a mom and I still want to be an athlete. It's possible. The young woman who decides, hey, I want to start a business. It's still possible. So that is what sports does. Sports is we are able to bring people together that comes from different background to be able to sit at the same table and all of us feel like we belong, right? And that's the door that sports open. It's just for us to be able to understand that when you're in it and you're in the sport, do not limit yourself to just the
Yes.
sport. Find another avenue or find another interest that you love and you can pour into. Because again, who you are as a person will remain and the sports will go. And you have to know, find a way to channel all of that hard work, that discipline, that consistency. You have to find a way now to put it in something else. And what greater way to do it than investing in people who are otherwise just sitting on and feeling like, I can't, I
Right.
need some inspiration. Help them find the inspiration. Because I'm going to tell you, sometimes the inspiration is just not enough. It's not enough that you talk about it, but it's enough when you show them. Creating the summit, creating a six-a-side football competition in my community where inner city boys can come together and play football and understand that it don't make no sense to kill off each other and argue and fight and do all of that when we can come and play football and we can have fun and we can understand, find another way to deal with our conflicts, right? So that's what it does. In an inner city or in a community, when you use that celebrity and that impact to build a school, that's what sports does. When you're able to use that sport to create another access where kids can get scholarships to go to school, I can tell you, there are people who have done way more. Yes, they have been given medals and they've done all of that and they've won World Cup and they've won all of it. But it's the schools that they've built, the roads that the lives that they'll change that will, yes, all the people will talk about accolades, but there are other young people will hear the story to say, hey, did you know that X bought me my first shoe? I am who I am because somebody bought me a shoe, bought me a bag, bought me a uniform, invested in me.
It's amazing. You talked yesterday about um something you were forced in a box. I'd like to use the term box. And
Mm-hmm.
people tell me, that I couldn't be a CEO. They tell me I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
do, all these different things they tell me. Actually love when they tell me that because I hold grudges and I remember all their names. But
Yeah, I always
I'm
say I'm
work
an elephant. I have good memory.
I forgive, but I always I'm sorry, I forget, but
You
wait,
forgive,
wait, I
but you
forgive,
don't
but I
forget.
never forget.
I
Yeah,
mean, we can
yeah.
debate that another
No, no,
time.
no. I have issues. I have issues. No, no, no. Let's. This is. Yeah. You can interview me next time.
All right.
Because. But so lots of boxes, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Waterhouse box,
Mm-hmm.
right? The small, athlete box, right? There's lots of boxes
Lots
that I
of
think you and
boxes.
I can think about that where we transcended those boxes. But the one I want to talk about is the mom and athlete box. You mentioned it yesterday. That
Yes.
people were really looking at you like you had to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you said,
I don't know what it is with women.
yeah,
I don't know what it. I think as women, we have to, I think our portion is doubled for some strange reason. Because the last time I checked, yes, I'm a mom. My husband is also a father. Why didn't you tell him to go and sit down? Right? I mean, the both of us will have to raise our son. So if
Yeah.
I need to stay home and raise my son, my husband needs to stay home and raise our son because we're a partnership, right? So I say that to say, so when I must confess that for me personally, I was scared. When I found out I was pregnant, I stayed home for 10 days
Mm.
or a week and something.
Because you were worried about.
I was, listen, I was still training.
Yeah.
Remember, I think I came third at the Olympic Games. So how I am in that moment, mind you, coming third in Rio was a big deal because I had to overcome so many things. I had to know that, okay, then, even when physically I wasn't at my best, I could use the mental space to understand that there's still things that's possible for me to achieve, right? And I think for me, being in that space was hard. So when I came third and I had the toe injury and I'm trying to get it better, like like the competitor that I am, I go home and I start plot my revenge to say, "Oh, me I go come back."
Wait, you just told me that I need help, and now you.
No, but that's
But now
you
you're
know
plotting
that's
revenge?
that's who I am. Like when I lose a race, I'm going home to say, all right, then I need to go do some more abs. I'm going to run some
Okay.
more. This I'm going.
But
That's
no
the
names, no
no no
names.
no no.
Okay, okay.
So my competitiveness is not tied to
Individuals. Yeah,
individuals. It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
me thing. Like
Okay.
I feel like okay then. I come third. All right, then I have to go back and work out. I go fix my toe. I go do this. I go start. And I'm planning because that's the type of person I am. I'm very calculating, right? So I'm sitting down. I'm planning everything that I'm going to be doing. And then lo and behold, I'm pregnant. So my 2017 plan gone out the door.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying I'm the defending champion because I'd won the world championship before the Olympic Games. So I was already going in as defending champion and I didn't need to run at the national championship back home. And if anybody know, Jamaica national championship, hardest championship. Right? So I'm planning and then I sit down and then I hear I'm pregnant. 10 tests later. Cause me I say, buy one little cheap one. So me I say, all right, then so we go buy the expensive one. Cause me I said the cheap one is lying. But it wasn't lying. So I sit down. I remember it was 2 o'clock in the morning when I did the test, and my husband we were sitting up, and I was like, Lord Jesus. I was scared because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't see a lot of women in track having babies and coming back and running. Worse. Well, not worse. I was going to be turning 30. And I don't know what is it about the world when women turn 30, but them all of a sudden feel like at the end of a world war, pack it up. They're like, pack it up. Go and have a seat. So all of those things together was creating an environment in my head that says, man, I'm sad. So instead of being grateful and in that moment, because my husband wanted to be a father for a very long time, right? So instead of being grateful and for the gift and all of that, I remember calling my pastor and I said, boy, the man said him didn't the show and the man a scream and I said, "Aye, calm down." He said, "No, no, no, he's excited." And I said, "Lord, no, don't be excited." Because I'm planning to come back. And I said, how am I going to tell my coach? How am I going to tell people, right? I was still training. So I remember going to training in big jacket, but it wasn't new, right? Because we train in jacket because early in the morning is very cold. And my training program was tailored because of my toe injury. So it was fine to see me miss a day or two and whatnot. So, eventually I've accepted that I was pregnant for true. But I knew at that moment that I was coming back. I'm as stubborn as they come. Very stubborn. From I was very young, very stubborn. Mother said, don't do it. I'm going to say, me, I go do it. You can't stop me. That's the kind of mentality I have, right? So I remember saying, I'm coming back. And I said, I trained up to about 5 or 6 months. And then he said, you know what? My body has been doing this for years. I'll be fine for the next 6 months. Took the time off and I enjoyed my pregnancy. Rough, but I enjoyed my pregnancy, right? And I decided I was coming back. Nobody was stopping me. So I had my son via C-section, which is something I didn't plan for.
Yeah.
So that kind of delayed me going back to training. But I knew it in my head that I was coming back. So when everybody was saying, oh, Shelly-Ann should just stay home and be a mom. Oh, she won Olympics already. She won world champion. She'll be fine. Whose whose life is it? It's my life. I get to decide, right? Why can't I have both? Why can't I be an athlete and a mom?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I choose to do what I want to do, right? And the thing about me is nobody, absolutely nobody writes this story but me and God. And for me, there's only two things can happen. You're going to win or you're not going to win. You're going to work or you're not going to work. Two things. The world doesn't stop. It doesn't end. There's nothing that happens if that any of those scenarios play out. You get to live again. You get to fight again. And you go on, you go on, you go on until you decide you want to stop. So when I had my son, I can tell you my son changed my life, right? I think he mellowed me out. It was an opportunity now to show, I think my son, when he looks back, I want to tell him that I became better because of you. Because I think a lot of person, and we grew up like that, we're in an inner city where you hear your mother say, Lord, if we never have one more do this. We hear that a lot where parents say, oh, if we never have them three pitney, I would have gone a foreign, I would have do this. No, I am better because of my child, right? And I always want him to know that. And when he's old and he can sit down and go on YouTube, like when I'm going on YouTube now and think he can exercise, he can hear me saying that Zion Price is the best thing that happened to me. He made me work harder. I was more, committed. I was dedicated because I had something to prove to myself that I believed it, that I could come back, right? And I trained and I trained and I was being a mom and I never at one I didn't sacrifice my son for track, so people can know. He was along for the ride every step of the way. I was tugging along with my son go everywhere. Put my stroller under the back. Anywhere my damn son did it because it was important for me to make sure that I was 100% in all spaces. Yes. At home, I was 100% there. At training, 100%, right? Because those things are important to me to understand that motherhood is it's part of who we are. You can be a mom, you can be a wife, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a leader, you can be an activist, you can be an athlete, you can be all of it, and that makes you woman. Full stop.
I think you might want to drop the mic on that. Take it and throw it on the ground. I think what's interesting about that balance, I hate the term balance. Because
Alex does too.
I love what you say, right? I feel like as a parent, I'm 100%. When I'm there, I'm 100% at everything.
In everything.
And yeah, I mean, are there sacrifices? Of course. Mm-hmm. But when you have a goal, it's a fulfillment. It's not, people say they're burned out, but there's no burnout when you have something greater that you're focused on.
And something that you're passionate about.
Yeah. But I asked this question of everybody, and I have an idea what my answer would be. But I ask everybody what their superpower is. Okay. And I'll describe it so you can think.
Okay.
A superpower for me is something that is intrinsic to you. Only you can do. You're the best at it. And it also doesn't, you don't lose any energy. So what would you say that your superpower is?
Oh, what would I say my superpower is? I think my superpower would have to be, I would have to say, why I say resilience. Like for me, it no matter what environment, circumstances, obstacles, disappointment, I will bounce back.
Yes.
That's my superpower. You can count on it. You can bet on it. You can put your house on it. The man them used to say in my community that every time them are going to a championship to run, them gone at the store gone bet because them know say never give them a medal. That's the spirit that I have. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I am going to come back. I am bouncing back. The ability to adapt, that's me. Like I can, what's the lady name that come in X-Man? The lady, the shapeshifter lady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can take the space of the wall if me ever take the space of the wall. I can be the table.
Yes.
The chair.
Yes.
Yeah. That Mystique? Yes.
Mystique.
I'm Mystique.
Yeah.
That's my superpower. Okay. Like, don't ever call
So if you're casting the next Mystique.
Yeah, me. No, that's my superpower.
Yeah.
Because that's how I grew up. Like I'm in a hard environment. I found a way. I went to the World Championship as a reserve the next year as Olympic champion. I won the world championship the year after. I had surgery. I removed my appendix the March of me winning the world championship title in August. The ability to find a way to adapt, because here's what I learned growing up in Waterhouse. First of all, God loves me. I know that. My pastor used to say I'm favored. I kind of, we're animal debate that, but that's what he says, right?
I would
But
agree. I would
but I
agree.
look at it and I say, you see, being in Waterhouse, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that comes my way and I can't push through it.
So when you're running, right, surgery, having a baby, losing, right? Maybe you didn't run, you didn't follow your path exactly how you wanted to, and you didn't have the outcome you wanted. What does the bounce back look like now, post career, athletic career? What does that bounce back look like? Where does that resilience? Because I see some. We have some of your
Yeah.
your brands, and we have some, but it seems to me like some of that bounce back is going to present in ways that maybe we aren't used to seeing you in.
Yeah, I think for me, the bounce back I would have to take time and space. I think that's what it is. I'm used to going and going and going and
Mm,
figuring it out. And I realized knowing this time, maybe I need to be patient in some of these seasons. So like I just finished running like maybe almost I don't reach a year. September will make a year before I've
mm,
been retired. Right. And I look at it and I'm going and then I'll have disappointment. And I sit down and I say to myself, maybe it's not yet.
yeah,
Maybe it's not, it's delayed, but it's not denial, right? It's me now saying, okay, then maybe I need to fine tune something else. So I'm in a space where I'm not sitting down and thinking, oh my God, I need something to do now. I need it to fix now. No. All my life it's always been about speed and fast and getting it done. Maybe this chapter of my life is taking it slow. It's being intentional in building the things that I'm building before I put them out. And nothing is wrong with that because you have to understand this is not me. There's no medal for this. You're not
yeah,
getting a medal for it. And it's not centered on time in such a way where an Olympic Games is you start training in September, the championship is August. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's a different,
it's a different journey that will
yeah,
involve if it will involve evolving at different stage, changing some things and being okay with it, pulling back and being okay with it, going again and being okay with that. So it involves a very different mindset than the athlete. Sure, I'm using the tools and all the experiences being an athlete, the resilience, the consistency, all of that, and I'm still applying those things to where I'm at now, but I'm also understanding that it's okay to be patient and to be intentional and to take the time to make sure whatever it is that you're doing, it's right. It's for me, I'm a perfectionist sometimes. I want it done properly. Right? Some people will get away with some things. I find I don't get away with nothing. If I don't do it right, it's not gonna do right. Full
yeah.
stop.
So you have a lot of people that I've seen you interact with that you've known for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and it almost seems like if you look at who's around Shelly, there's all these people that you love and you care about. I mean, yesterday on stage you had so many people that had stories, and they knew you from 2008, and they knew you from 2010.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that probably want to get, um, you know, to get in your sphere, but you keep that. It seems like you keep that network tight. Is that something that you would have to change? Do you feel like in this new world with Instagram, with social media, with all the different pressures that are coming that are not necessarily focused now on the track, but they're focused on you as a brand?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
is
I've had to pull back on a lot of things,
yeah,
right? Because I can't be everywhere,
yeah,
can't do everything. And I think I owe it to my family as well, because I've always been up and down and they sacrifice a lot. Especially my husband. He has sacrificed a lot to help me chase my dreams.
yeah,
Right? So I've had to be in spaces where I'm like, I can't do that and be okay with saying I can't do it.
yeah,
Because generally I'm not a no person. I once went to therapy because I didn't know how to say no. Because somebody said, all right, then you need to do this. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do it, but I feel like I have to,
Mm,
because I'm like, oh, I'm a nice person and I just want to do it because I want them to know that I'm nice. Like,
mm.
I am nice.
But sometimes you need to say no.
So I
Yeah.
leave it there. I'm nice.
Yeah. No, you're
But
so
if it's
nice.
but if it's a no, it's a no.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you love and respect me, you'll understand that if I say no, it's not because I don't want to, but it's maybe I don't have the time. I'm busy,
Yeah.
or maybe if you catch me at another time, I'll do it, or I'm tired. Because
Yeah.
those things can happen. There are a lot of times I get a lot of emails asking me, oh, can you come and speak here? Can you come
Yeah.
here? I have been on a plane, I think, more now than when I was running,
Wow.
right? Because I have to go places. But there are things that are important to me, and I have to make the sacrifice of those things. So when my son has a football game, somebody may sit on the outside and be like, oh, he's just U9. So
No,
I
don't
want
miss
to
that.
be there for my son.
Yeah.
Because again, they have sacrificed a lot to my son. His first birthday he celebrated in Jamaica. Every other birthday has been celebrated somewhere in Europe, somewhere else, with a pizza or us going out for dinner. It's never a party, or my teammates buying a cake
Yeah.
and we celebrate a birthday with just him, the only kid, being there, right?
Yeah.
So for me, when I say they have sacrificed, they have sacrificed. And also my husband's birthday is a week after my son.
Mm.
So they have always been with me, busy training. I've trained at their birthdays. So for me, my family is important. So boundaries are important.
Yeah.
If I can't, I can't. And you have to be okay with people thinking, okay, then she's a bad person. I can't do it all. I said it earlier, you can't pour from an empty cup. If I'm tired and depleted and weak and I can't do it, how do I effectively help you? I can't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that for me personally, I'm showing up in a space, assisting or doing what I need to do whole, not just physically,
Right.
mentally, spiritually. Sure, there are moments that I do things when I'm tired, sure, but that's not all the time. So I have to make sure that I am good in every way to make sure that I'm showing up for other people, because if I'm tired, I'm
Yeah.
tired.
But like yesterday, when you commit, you commit. I mean, you
Yes,
commit. I
yeah,
couldn't believe how much time you really spent. But you know what?
I do.
As a friend, I feel a little bit. I have a bone to pick with you.
Really?
Yes.
All right, go on, tell me.
Okay. So this I wanted to highlight the. Hold on, I'm getting old. So this is to protect hair.
Yes, so that's a heat protector and also a sealant.
So
No, but it's so follicles still.
some.
It still will aim. It will do what it needs to do.
Okay. So this is I'm gonna try it. Not now, but I'm gonna try it. But tell me more. Tell me more.
So so you have
yeah.
AFIMI, which is the protect, which is a leave-in oil or a
Mm,
sealant and a heat protector. So of course, AFIMI is everything. It's my baby. AFIMI is deeply rooted in the essence of Jamaica, and also me, the essence of me, my roots, my culture, my individuality, my authenticity, how I wear my hair, my family heritage, all of it is in AFIMI. And AFIMI I translate to it's mine. It
mm,
shows ownership. That's what
mhm.
AFIMI is. And for me, when I started AFIMI, I've said that I grew up with my grandmother blending up things, putting in my hair, because people think I've been changing my hair. No, I've been doing it forever. Like when I was young, I had S curl, I had Jerry curl, I had cream hair or processed hair, I had braids, I shave off. But I've done it all from I was very young. My obsession with hair. And then my mother and my grandmother would always have to find a way to help me grow it back. So I would be blending up, aloe vera. I would be using, beer and egg and mayonnaise to steam my hair. I'm using castor oil. I'm using car grease because my father was a mechanic. And my grandmother said the truck grease, if you blend it up with the blue, anyway, don't try it. Don't try it. My grandmother is not alive to say, and she would blend it up and she would put it in my hair because she says it's gonna stimulate the hair growth. Who am I to question my granny? She's been around longer than me. So who am I to question her? So I'm always been blending things. So AFIMI is what it is almost like it's my personal gift to the world from Jamaica.
It's interesting because the Jamaican term means it's mine.
It's mine.
But you're
Ownership.
actually sharing
I'm
it,
sharing it.
which is I think to me a little bit of a twist, as a
Yeah, because when you take it from, let me go back to you. When you're younger and your friend are playing at the playground and them give you something where that they have, isn't it yours after that?
Yes.
It's yours.
Yes.
So once you go to the store, you go on the website and you get an AFIMI, it becomes yours.
It becomes yours.
I'm transferring it to you. I'm transferring greatness to you. I want you to have the same results I have. I want you to change your hair just as much as I change my hair. So these are all natural products that everything was done in Jamaica, manufacturing everything.
That's awesome.
Blending the product, having persons who are connected, to the roots and the heritage and really exporting that and just showing the world that as a country, people like to say we're a third world country. Whatever it is that you can do overseas, we can bottle the best here and send it to the world. So that's what AFIMI is. So for me, I'm hopefully launching July 1st.
Okay.
Internationally. Again, I'm a perfectionist. And being an entrepreneur, I think sometimes because of that, perfectionism, I will delay things. And I don't think it's a good quality to have. I think sometimes you have to start and you just have to understand that you'll make mistakes and you'll have moments where you have to change something, but at least you start from where you are and you can grow from that, right? No tree is grow overnight. It takes time. You have to plant it and you have to nurture it and it gets to that point. And sometimes you have to, when you have the tree, you realize to have a brown leaf, you probably have to pick it off and then it will grow new leaf. Or you probably have to get some fertilizer, and the fertilizer can represent the help. And that's what I'm getting now, the help to really make sure that I own everything and bring it forth.
Yeah, we always talk about in business MVP, that minimal viable product. Even though it's not perfect, get it out. So you can improve
so
upon
that's
it.
what we're doing. So July 1.
All right, July 1. I do want to have a few more questions for you.
Sure.
One, I want to know, because I feel like you owe it to me because you made fun of my hair. So I want to know something that you can say just to the people on Less Than 1% that are subscribing and following and on Instagram and YouTube and all these different places that you've never said anywhere before.
That I've never said anywhere before.
Something about you or something about.
I think for me, so I know when person see me compete, right? And I walk away and I'm hugging my competitor, especially if I didn't win and I'm smiling. I go home and I bawl. I bawl, like bawl. And it's not because I'm a sore loser, because I'm not a sore loser. But it's a grieving process that I think as athletes and as humans is necessary for us to get it out. Because you have to understand as an athlete with a champion mindset, I don't train to lose. We never train to lose, right? I don't go in an exam thinking I'm going to fail. Nobody does that. When I go and I get up in the morning to go to practice, my mindset is always on winning. I want to win.
Yes.
And my coach has told me a very long time that there's a process that gets you to win, right? My process is every day that I go to training, I give 100%. I was a full-time student when I won my second Olympic gold medal. Full-time, full 4 subjects. Sometimes I'm at class 9 o'clock in the night and everything is my car. My husband would carry food to school for me so that I could eat at a certain time and finish my class. So when I talk about being intentional, I'm intentional about everything that I do. And I want to win. And I believe as a successful athlete, you also have to grieve the process.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you have to go home and you have to sit with yourself and you have to let that out because I don't want to carry it with me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because a lot of people, they carry that loss with them and they end up losing again because they haven't overcome that loss before. And they feel they need to carry it. No, I am bawling because I'm letting it go. And I'm preparing myself for what's next.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing. So I go home And sometimes when I bawl, my husband bawl with me. Like people would think yes, he'll cry with me because he understands. He says, man, you work hard. And this is not me saying the person who won didn't deserve it because
Right.
they worked. But it's personal, right? When I step to the line and I'm in lane 4, I'm in lane 5, or whatever lane I'm in, it's your lane. There's a line that separates us. It means I can't go over into your lane and you can't come into my lane. It means we're running two different races, right? As women, we share in, the fact that we are overcoming things and we are creating space and we're breaking barriers so that other women can come into the sport and they can, reap the fruits of, those successes because they see that it's possible. But I go home and I grieve that, man, I worked hard. What went wrong? What can I fix? Lord, okay, then I need to change this, and I let it go. And then when I begin, I start to write down the plans for the next year. The minute I lose a championship, I'm writing down my plans for the next year. I'm setting the tone early, right?
Yeah.
And I get up, and as a result, when I face the world the next day, from that, I'm fine. I'm not bitter. I'm not envious. I'm not anything. I've grieved that.
And you let it go.
And I let it go because then I go and I face this person and I'm standing on the podium. I mean, I say, watch her. No,
Yeah.
I've already grieved that. I've already let that go. No, I'm standing on the podium and I'm celebrating my moment.
That's such a great point. I think a lot of us, me included, I'm getting therapy here. I hold on to losses.
Yeah.
And you make it. And if you don't, and the truth is that you end up losing the same way because you haven't got that memory, out of your mind. So if you look at a lot of people who watch this, I think I told you this story, and I'll tell you the shorter version because everybody out there already has heard it 100 times and they don't want me to talk about it. But I did not have a plan to be a CEO. That was never. I told you yesterday. I want to be a rapper. I want to be a basketball player. I mean, I'm not. I wanted to be all these things.
Okay,
And so,
Tupac.
I know, right? I know. So now, I go into this. I go to medical school and I go to this thing, and the CEO job comes up, and I said, I'll try that. Leadership. I was a point guard. I can. This is something I can do. And a coach that I had said he said, there's no chance. And I said, well, give me a percentage. And he said, less than 1%. So I do hold grudges. And so my whole brand
is less than 1%.
Is less than 1% because I feel.
I love it though.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many people that we underestimate, that we put in boxes before we even know. We're picking the winners and losers before the races even run.
I've experienced that.
So all of those people out there, if you had to give them one piece of advice, what would you give them?
One piece of advice I would give them, I would have to say, start where you are. What you have is unique to you. Only you alone possess that quality. Start where you are. Start believing that there's more to come. And the doubts that's out there, it's noise, white noise. Noise. If you're not in the arena, it doesn't help you. So you have to understand that where you are, you're uniquely positioned for success. So you have to believe that. You have to be intentional about it. And you have to chase it with every fiber of your being. And we've already been created for more. Whatever it is that you need is already inside of you. You are created with it. So you just have to tap into that, find your community, find your space, and thrive in that space.